hur den vilda västanvinden viskar vad som skola ske. Förrättar och förvildar och vidunderliga ting. Ni bör vakta edra liv och vännerna stå bi. För drakar och demoner, de strider om vår värld. Det är en tid för hjältedåd, det digra tiden är.
Hello and welcome back to the Solo Roleplayers podcast. I'm your host, PJ, and today on the show, I am absolutely thrilled to do something that we have never done before. It is a brand new segment. It is first time being tried in the world in real life anywhere. This is a segment that I like to call, and drum roll please, PJ School's a GM who knows a little bit about solo, but nothing really, and is keen to try solo, and I'm going to teach him how to do it. Andreas Lundström, host of the Sweden Rolls podcast, solo role player, curious, and I might add, the composer of the soundtrack that we're going to be listening to throughout the course of this episode today. Andreas, welcome back to the Solo Roleplayers podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Now, we sort of joked when we interviewed a little while ago, or just sort of mentioned the idea that you needed some schooling on solo role-playing because you'd heard about it, you know that it's a thing out there, that some strange people in this little corner over here do it, but you hadn't really experienced it yourself.
No.
And so I thought we might give you a little schooling, and what better way to school than with hands-on approach, diving into Dragonbane's Deepfall breach, where it all started for me on this podcast.
Learning by doing, man.
Learning by doing. Now, you know almost nothing other than the rules of the game, which is, and I'm sure you know a lot of other things as well, but in terms of the solo role-playing and Deepfall breach, you know the rules of the game, which helps me, because you probably know them better than I do, and you have your character, which we just pulled out of the core box. Who is your character? Would you like to introduce him to us?
Why, Bastion Bloodjoe I am.
Excellent. I can hear by your accent you have very long, spiky teeth. It gets hard to get those consonants out.
Yeah, and a lot of spittle in my fur on my mouth.
Excellent. So, spittle aside, I hope you have a tea towel or something to keep your dice dry. And then we're just going to dive in. You know a little bit about what Deepfall Breach is about, but not really. So I'm just going to give you the background, and also for anyone out there who are just joining us here, or perhaps listening on your show, Sweden Rolls, if it ends up over there, I'm going to give you a little bit of background on what Deepfall Breach is. And it's basically a small, bespoke solo mode that comes in the core set of Dragonbane, adding to the already fantastic value that core set is. And what it does is quite a different approach to most solo modes, and it sort of gives you a guided experience where it takes you through a series of 5 missions, and the setup is that there is this rip in the earth nearby to the main town in the Misty Vale outskirt, and this rip in the earth is pouring with all sorts of evil and demons and this kind of thing, and there is one guardian of this tear in the earth who is trying to stop the demons from doing it, and it's his job to recruit soldiers and warriors and fighters and mages and occasionally ducks and send them down there into the depths and try and fight off the evil. This guy's name is Engulfer. That's not important, but what is important and for the setup of how this solo works is that he has a magical eye that can see some of the areas that you will visit along the way to your quest, but not all of them. And so what this does from a mechanical point of view is that it allows you to have a little bit of an idea of what you're going to encounter, and also maybe prepare a little bit, which is what I'm going to let you do at the beginning. And then it also means that there's still surprises there as well. So it's a really neat little system, and it actually has a It means that it can contain these single missions, which should take a single session each, into like one column of a quarter of a page, and it can keep the missions quite short that way. When you finished all of those missions, it does have a way in which you can continue endlessly exploring Deepfall Breach by rolling up your own and interpreting your own missions, and that's what we're going to try today. I don't want to spoil any of the written missions for listeners out there, and I also think that doing it from scratch like this sort of helps you understand a little bit more about how this whole solo role-playing thing works in the first place.
Cool.
Do you have any questions, or shall we just forge ahead into the breach?
Let's jump into the deep.
Into the Deepfall Breach. Now, we will look up rules and things as they become necessary, like when you're about to die, and we find out that healing is there are some slight rules tweaks in this, which is nice because they're simple, but they do make a big difference. As you know yourself, you have killed a few Dragonbane characters in your time. I know. It does happen. And so, especially when you're alone, the risk of being horribly murdered is increased. So, things like evasion are very important if you're going into this and making a character. And also, you get some extra abilities. The most important one is you get a free heroic ability called Army of One, which means you get 2 initiative cards instead of 1. And straight away, that makes a huge difference. I find it a lot of fun just to be able to do more things on your turn, but it makes your chances of survival that bit better. You might be able to parry one blow and then, attack again. So, that is all you need to know for a background. And now what we're going to do is follow the process as it says in the book to start building out these points that Ingolfer does know about. Okay? Once you know those points, I'm going to let you purchase a couple of items. We don't need to worry about counting money or any of that stuff. You can just think of, by the sounds of it, if there's
that's
something...
good, because I only got 2 silvers.
Good. I'll shout you. In Australian, that means I'll pick up the tab.
Ah, cool. Thanks.
Okay. Now, I'll get my trusty pen out here.
So did I get both Army of One and Soul Survivor?
I believe you get one or the other.
Yeah.
As according to the rules. I've often played with both.
Yeah.
I've played with both, and you don't feel overpowered in this game, especially early on. But I find the Army of One is just a lot more fun anyway.
Cool. They're very good in combination with the veteran heroic ability that Baston has.
Ooh, what is that?
If I get an initiative card I like, I can spend a willpower point to keep that next turn.
Ah, yes, that's right. That is very handy. You can stick on that one when you get it. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, this is over on page 7, if you and all listeners want to follow along, and this is generating the custom missions. The first thing we need to do is set the main objective, right? And so this is what your mission for the day is. And so for that, we're going to flip over to page 3, where you can see the inspiration table. And so now what you can do it since you have it in front of you and you have the dice, roll 3d20s, line them up, and then give me the 3 words that come up.
Summon, cursed leader.
Okay. So tell me, what are those? Think about those words for a minute. Think about you and who you are and maybe what this world is like. And what is that telling you that your quest is? What do you imagine your quest is?
Well, I assume that there might have been some kind of captain of the guards or something in town who got cursed by a demon. And are you supposed to jump into this breach, or are things coming up from it?
You're going down and delving into the depths of the breach.
Yeah, so he was cursed by a demon down there, and went down to find this demon to try and kill it off and get rid of his curse. But he hasn't been heard from for a while.
Excellent, and he's an important voice in the fight, or an important sword in the fight against the demons. And so, do you need to rescue him? Is that how you?
I think so. This is a rescue mission. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, let me make a note of that.
I don't know. Maybe he's also Wolfkin that's why I feel like I'm the one who needs to go down and get him. Maybe
And in
I look
fact,
up to him.
As it were, Ingolfia, the guy who is sending you down, is also Wolfkin, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So rescue the cursed Wolfkin leader.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Already exciting. That is step number 1, and there is only 4 steps. Step number 2 is we need to create the foreseen waypoints. Now, you can at this point decide how many waypoints you want to have based on how long you want the session to be. I did a session today with only 4 waypoints, and I kind of went through it pretty quickly, and it was about a 45 to an hour session, which I find is good for sort of solo. In the missions that are in there, it has 6, and I found that usually lasted an hour to an hour and a half. For the sake of this, I don't know, let's just pick 5, and if we go faster through some, or if we have to skip to it at the end, then we can do that. That's not a problem.
Okay.
You're okay with that?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm just now writing down on a page 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Maybe actually we do 4 because I mean you're going to explain things to me, so it's going to take a longer while. So I don't think we'll have time for more than 4 anyway.
That's fine. So let's say that the known locations are the... in fact, this brings up another important tool, a very important tool, one of the most important tools in solo roleplay in general, and that is that of the Oracle. Have you heard of an Oracle and what that is?
Are you talking to Andreas or Baston?
Andreas today.
Andreas, no.
Okay, so an Oracle is basically, in its simplest form in solo roleplay, it's if you, the player, or the player or the PC have a question, mostly the player, and you don't know the answer. Is the door locked, for example? You roll a dice based on whatever oracle you're using, and that will tell you the answer. Is it locked? You might be yes, it might be no, it might be extreme yes or extreme no, and then you can interpret that how it is. And if you go over to page 2 in the core solo rules, you can see down the bottom there's a fortune chart. And so it's as simple as rolling a d6 if you're looking for a yes, no, if you're looking for a number, how many bats are there, if you're looking for how big is this cavern, for example, so on and so forth, that will tell you the answer.
Cool.
So the first thing we're going to ask, and you can try this, we're going to say how many, or we're going to say rather, is the final room known to Ingolfer? And you can roll a d6.
That's a 3, so that's a no. It's not known to me.
So that means that the final room is cloudy in Ingolfer's mind. He can't actually picture that. He doesn't know what you're walking into at the end. He just knows that the leader is in there. So we're going to put a question mark on the number 4. Then we're going to ask the same question for number 3. In fact, 3 will make a known one. And then for number 2, we'll ask, is this a known one?
Okay. That's a 4, so that's a yes.
Okay, so then we have another known one. And then the first one, we will make an unknown one. You can choose. In the missions, it generally has slightly more known than unknown. So it might be like 4 and 2 or something like that, I think, from memory. So yeah. So we have a unknown at the beginning and then 2 knowns. So let's roll up what these known locations are. The second location that Ingolfer sees, we're going to roll now on the page number 9. We're looking at the 8 and 9, the exploration tables. So first, roll for me on the area on page 8.
Excavated mine.
Okay, excellent. Now what I want you to do is roll 3d20s and look at the subtables. And we're just going to choose a contents, environment, and a danger.
Okay, not oddity.
We could do oddity as well, but I only have 3d20s, so...
Okay. So, fresh corpses, chilling cold, and acid pools.
Okay, fantastic. So you don't know exactly what this is going to look like, what this layout is just yet, but Ingolfer tells you that there are dangers there. There's going to be acid there. Why do you think that there are fresh corpses down there? And before you answer that, we're going to roll a d20 on the page 8 inhabitants and sort of see who this mine is known to be. Okay. So when we get down there, we can figure out or picture what has happened, that there are all these fresh corpses. Do you have any ideas why there might be corpses down there in an abandoned mine that are fresh?
Well, I mean, some of them could be there searching for the captain, but I think mostly they've been sacrificed by the cultists. The cultists need hearts to summon a demon, and they need fresh pumping hearts.
Oh, brutal. Excellent. Okay, we're going to roll up our final known location, doing that same thing again. This time, as another important solo role-playing skill, is sometimes not rolling and just picking something that looks cool. So knowing that we have a mine in the room before, what can you, if you scan through this area table list, what can you see there that you can picture adjoining this mine?
I mean, I always like myself a forgotten library.
Excellent. Forgotten library it is. With a pile of beating hearts in the middle of it.
Okay. And then those 3 dice again.
Exactly. This time we can do a... In fact, before you read those results, give me an oracle roll to ask, is there a known danger?
3, so no.
Okay, so now you can roll contents, environment, and oddity.
Flaming braziers, dusty air. Both of those fit very well for a library, I think. And a hidden trap.
Ooh. Okay, so when Golfer warns you, he describes this library to you. And he warns you that it may be trapped. It may seem innocent, but it may be trapped. And that is what you know. Now, having a little bit of that foresight now from Engulfer, what do you go and get in town? Like, pick 3 items, whether they're actually on the list. We don't need to, do the all-night
Well, I mean,
shopping
I
thing.
need a thick coat because it's chilling cold. I don't think my fur will suffice, so I need a thick coat against the chilling cold. If it could offer some protection, if it could be really thick hide and perhaps protect at least a little bit against the acid as well, I'm willing to go down to 2 objects instead.
Yep, let's do that. Maybe it includes some what are the things on your ankles that horse riders wear? Something like that. Like a hide sock.
Yeah.
For example.
Something like that. And then, I don't know. Yeah, maybe something against that trap. Maybe a... let's say some marble, some stone or marble, bullets. What do you call them? Like spheres that I can roll ahead of me to see if I can try and spring a trap.
Excellent. Marbles.
The cultists, I don't need anything more than my 2 spears over here.
2
They'll
spears.
suffice for them.
2 spears is impressive.
One's for throwing, one's for thrusting.
Love it. Okay. Now we have our unknown waypoints. We've already done that. And the final thing to do is, and this is really important in solo roleplay, is having some tension that is building throughout your session. And so what we have to do now is choose a threat. If you can think of something immediately that makes sense of what a threat is, then we'll just go with that. Otherwise, we can roll something up.
I'll just roll it up. I have the table here.
Good.
A dreadful creature has your scent. When the threat triggers, it attacks.
Okay. So we don't know what this creature is, but if and when the threat triggers, we're going to have a wandering monster on your tail. No pun intended. And that is it. That is all we need to do to set up our adventure.
Cool.
And we are going to start. So you enter into this mine. There's fresh corpses, as you said, sacrificed by the cultists. It's freezing cold, much colder than it has any right to be. And there's acid pools. And I realize I am not the one describing these things, it's you. I'm so used to doing it myself. So why don't you tell me what you picture when you walk into this cave, the mine?
Okay, so it's an old dwarven mine, of course, and when the breach appeared, they fled from there. Or is this inside the breach? Sorry.
This is already inside. So you've descended
All right,
down
so
the first
I've descended into the
rooms.
breach, and I come to this mine where dwarves were trying to. They're always greedy, so they were like, oh, we don't care if there's demons there. We'll go there and find us some mithril. And they went down, and yeah, they found some iron, but no gems, no gold, no mithril. So pretty fast they actually abandoned it because they were killed off by demons one at a time. So yeah, so they've actually abandoned it, and now it is the abode of these cultists who are kidnapping people and sacrificing their hearts trying to summon a demon. So I come down there, and yeah, I don't know if there's some kind of cold demon or something, but this must surely be in the realm of some demon with some kind of cold effect. So it's
you think it's the demon that's causing the cold?
Yeah, it's gotta be the vicinity. That's at least what he thinks. That's what Baston thinks.
Okay.
He hasn't been down here much. He's followed his captain down a few times, but this is his first time going in alone, I think.
Okay.
So he's always been leaning on the wisdom of someone else.
Mm-hmm. And do you picture this mine as a narrow space or as a wide open space, or do you want to roll and find out?
Let's roll for that. Okay, so it's extremely wide.
Okay.
There's they've dug out walkways that are, I don't know, 10 meters, 30 feet wide, and there's shafts everywhere. There's a lot of space here.
Okay. So why don't you now roll, and this is you the player. In solo roleplay, you have to sort of jump between being the GM and the player and the PC. So knowing what you know and knowing what they know. So why don't you jump into your GM head now and roll an oracle and ask, is the demon here?
Mm-hmm. That's a yes.
Okay. And so now what you might do is to see if your character notices that the demon is here, you could roll on a relevant stat. So perhaps awareness, for example.
I think so. So close. No, my awareness is shit. That's not even close. No need to push that. Oh yeah, I can push for free if I have if I have both. But I mean, isn't that cheating having both these special abilities for solo role playing?
In theory, yeah, it's cheating.
Yeah, I mean, I already have my veteran. But you said it's fun to try this army one. Okay, no, I won't push it.
Okay.
Yeah, I will say that that Baston would. I mean, he's shaking. He is deadly afraid of this place. So he would try and be stealthy, whether he expects something or not.
Okay. So he's being stealthy. He hasn't seen anything. Why don't you roll a sneaking roll? I mean, at this point, you could roll a sneaking check, which is fun, or you could ask the oracle, does the demon know you are there? Or something like that.
Yeah, I tried a sneaking. That failed, so I'm going to ask the oracle. Yep, the demon knows I'm there. This is going to be a short adventure.
What happens?
So I'm going to make another oracle roll to see what will be the action of the demon then, I guess.
Yes, I believe there is a reaction.
Oh, yes, there is. The demon's actually friendly. Maybe the demon finds these cultists to be squatters. Because he's acting friendly, actually. So he pops up from around the corner, hello, little wolfie, or something like that. And Baston shits his pants, gets ready for a fight, but then the demon says, won't you like to help me get rid of some squatters? Yeah. Or something like that.
Yeah, well, hey, this is good news for you. Mm-hmm. And so how does Baston respond to that?
Yeah, this is a known place. So I know about the acid pool. So Baston makes a deal with the demon that if he helps out with the cultists, if the demon could guide him so he doesn't fall into any acid pools.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Okay, now, I mean, you could roll persuasion on that, but to me, I would say you don't need to do that, right? The demon's asking for Baston's help
Yeah,
here.
the demon's asking, yeah.
Okay. And so it could be as simple as that. You could now at this point decide if you want to maybe scavenge a little bit and look around, which has the benefit of finding stuff and treasure, which is always good, but has the disadvantage that when you take more time than necessary, this threat die ticks up. Anytime you do something, or maybe you fail a roll to like move quickly or something, this threat is going to keep ticking up. When it hits 6, something's going to come.
I think he doesn't want to scavenge. He wants to like get this done.
Okay. Do you want to get any assurances from the demon, or you're happy to just...
I mean, he's gonna be like, what are my fucking options? Like, either I fight first the demon and then the cultists, or I get help fighting the cultists and help avoiding the acid pools. Like, that's an easy choice.
Yeah, okay. So he just can't believe his luck at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, and so Baston then makes his way with the help of the demon, sort of guiding around past the lava pools. At this point, you can go into as much or as little as you want. If you're the solo role player, if you're journaling, you might like to describe things. Some people are drawing stuff, or you can just have it in your head and want to keep going with the action. You can do as little or as much as you want. So for us, for the sake of time, let's move into the next room and roll up.
So the
now.
cultists were not in this room.
I mean,
they're
you can
going to be
ask
in
that.
the last room.
The leader who you need to rescue is going to be in the last room. We don't know if you're going to run into cultists along the way.
Okay.
If you were to ask a question and says, "Is there an enemy here?" then chances are it's cultists. You know.
Okay. So the cultists. Okay. So we didn't roll those in what do you call it? They were not connected to the excavated mine. They are just the inhabitants of like all of these rooms. They could be in any of the rooms that I'll be passing.
That's up to you to decide. To me, it makes sense that since you have a demony evil down the bottom of this thing, that the cultists are all involved in that somehow, and so they're sort of spread out throughout the place. You could choose to roll up new enemies in every room or whatever, but to me it makes sense that you have, like, this is inhabited mostly by cultists and the occasional ice demon.
Okay. Cool.
So we move through to the next room, and we get to roll up now on our location chart again, which I think was page 8. And tell me what you see now when you walk into this room.
Suddenly before Baston, there is a confounding maze. Where there are scattered bones, also on point, glowing crystals, and a sealed doorway.
Do you see this doorway? Is it right in front of you, like as a bypass to the maze, maybe?
But first of all, Baston sees a demon reaching for one of the bones, just about to like throw it for him to fetch, and he just goes like, "Dude, don't!"
Just gives him a look.
Yeah, I mean the glowing crystals are fun to look at, but can I like make a roll to see if Baston sees it right away? If he fails, he'll still find it, but it'll take longer.
Exactly. So you can do awareness, I guess, or spot hidden, maybe, whatever you think.
Yeah, I think I suck equally at both. So nope, that's an 8. I 5 in both. So no, he's gonna have to look through this maze. Like he does not get through it quickly. He has to like double back so often, and I don't know if he's like even able to tell like where he is. He ends up just wandering aimlessly, hoping for the best.
Okay. Now, at some point when he sort of stops so I've just ticked up the threat die a little bit, so we're up to 2 now. At some
Because
point now,
it took us some time.
because it took some time, exactly. And so now he maybe needs to stop and collect his thoughts and sort of figure out how he's going to do it. We don't want fail states. I mean, same with good GMing, right? You don't want failures to be uninteresting. So in this case, you can make a failure just ticking up the threat, which is a nice thing to do.
Yeah. Cool.
However, we might want to ask now, do you run into, as you sit and collect your thoughts and try and figure out what you're going to do you run into anyone?
Okay. So yes, no oracle. No, I don't actually. A 3.
Okay. So a bit eerily quiet, perhaps. So how are you going to make your way through this maze then? Or you're really just going to brute force it?
I don't know, maybe I can. I'm gonna start with trying sniffing my way, and maybe because of my nose, acute nose, maybe I can get an advantage on awareness or something.
Sure. Now this is an interesting thing as well. You now have a bit of a conflict between the GM and the player. You want advantage as the player. That's the kind of thing you'd ask your GM.
Yeah.
You can either decide, as you say on Sweden Rolls, rule of cool. You can either say, yeah, that's cool. If my player said that, I would let them do it. Or you can ask the Oracle, but you can ask the Oracle in a weighted fashion. So if you don't want to make the decision yourself, but you think it's
so
likely,
I can do like 1, 2 is no, and 3 to 6.
Well, I mean, the way that it says to do it is you do like advantage. You roll 2 dice and you take the highest if it's more likely and lowest if it's less likely.
All right, I'll do that. So I rolled a 3 and a 4. So a 4 means it's a yes, so he gets advantage. All right, cool. No. He's still sniffing around, which means he ends up like having to hack his way through the maze instead, I think.
Okay. So we tick up the threat die again, and you do get to the end of the maze now. And Grumpy...
So ticking up the threat means that I, in the end, actually do find the door. I don't need to succeed with anything for that.
Exactly.
But the threat goes up to 3.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
If you have a failure that's not interesting, I mean, if the failure is, you fall into another space or you initiate off combat or something like that, you can have that. But if the failure is not interesting, you can just tick up the thing. Cool. We're now up to 3 on the threat die, and you find your way to the end of this maze. Is this where the sealed door is?
Yep, that's a sealed door right there.
The sealed door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leading onwards and inwards.
Okay.
I think Baston just tries to kick it open.
Okay. Can you
With
roll
brawling.
straight like ability checks in this, like a straight strength check?
Yeah, you can make a strength check, but there's also a brawling check, which I think might. Or I could do a strength check, but that won't be interesting because my strength is 18. So.
Yeah. Okay. So you do the check then. Do the brawling.
Yeah. That's a success. Woohoo! Was it the first
Okay.
successful roll? I don't know.
It was.
But I succeeded. So Baston is so frustrated with this fucking maze. He's a fighter, not a thinker. So he just goes, if this is the way out, I'm fucking taking it. And he just throws himself at the door, turning it to splinters and just falling prone on the other side of the door.
Okay. And on the other side of this door, as we know, he's falling into this creepy library, which has these flaming braziers, dusty air, and warnings that there might be a hidden trap. Before we come across the trap now, it's probably time to see someone, maybe. So maybe we might now ask an oracle roll, weighted to likely. I mean, this is what I would do. You can then tell me what you want to do. I would now ask at this point, are there any cultists in here? Because they're mysteriously absent.
Because we're more than halfway deep into here. Okay. Yeah. So are there cultists in here? That's a 1 and a 6. That's a hard yes.
Okay. What do you see, Baston, when you you crash through this door, falling on your nose, sliding across the tiles?
He sees a number of cultists. So I still do an oracle roll, right? I don't roll a d4. A number roll.
quantity or...
Yeah, quantity, yeah. So I see 1 cultist here.
Except I would argue that because you rolled an extreme yes, that there are cultists in here, that you would roll that with a likely. Pushing toward a high.
All right, so the second one was a 6. So there are numerous cultists in here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Baston's itching for a fight. He's gonna try and catch him by surprise. I think they would be. Are they shocked when he lands there? Are they like taken by surprise and need a moment to realize what's happening? 4. Yeah, they're a bit. So maybe he gets a free round or something.
Okay, great. Moving into combat then. There are numerous cultists. Do we want to... I mean, you can sort of decide what you think numerous is and roll a die, or we can just say, like, what are you picturing now in this library?
It goes from few to several to numerous. So, I mean, the minimum, I think, is 4. So I think maybe 3 plus a d4. So 6. There are six of them here.
That is numerous. And this might be just because we haven't used this table yet, and to add a little bit of flavor to it, go to page 3 and look at the inspiration table and roll up what are they doing as you come in there. And so you can roll a d20 for the action. Or in fact, just roll, I'd just say action and thing in this case.
Okay.
Or, I'm not sure. Let's see what happens.
Okay. They are trying to seize someone. Maybe they're chasing someone who they want to sacrifice. So they're...
Aha. So one of the sacrifices got away.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so they're distracted.
I think that was what the first Oracle roll was like. Are they like they don't really expect him, so he gets 1. There are 5 of them after all, or was it 6? 5 or 6? 5.
It was 6, but
6. So there's 6 of them. Like he needs a free round to have a chance to go at these guys.
Okay. So at this point now, you could, if you're using the standees and stuff, you could just set up a little encounter and sort of go through that. Let's just sort of picture something. You can describe the layout of where everyone is in the room.
I mean, they're trying to see someone, so I'm picturing them like 3 on each side. They're facing someone. Say he enters from the south corner of the room, and they've cornered someone in the north corner, northeast or northwest corner, and they're basically maybe they're in a half circle, like around this person that I don't think Baston really sees who it is. He just sees that they are clearly cultists. They're wearing these robes with symbols and stuff like that, and they have their backs turned to him, and that's all he needs.
Okay, and the final thing we might ask before combat starts is how far away you are from them, if you think that's interesting, or you can just jump. You can say you're close enough to.
I'm close enough to attack. Yeah.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Then we'll draw initiative.
Again, I think he needs it.
Yes.
I think he gets a surprise round first round. We don't need initiative cards for the first round.
So what do you do on your first round? You have 2 actions.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just attack with both my turns, both my initiative counts, with my heavy spear.
So you're running in, not throwing anything.
No.
Running in.
I'm not throwing the short because it has lower damage. So I'm just rushing in with my long spear. I mean, I have a movement of 14, and the long spear has a range of 4, so I could cover 18 meters and still be able to attack. All right, first attack.
I'm just going to also say that there is an improvised weapon in there, and that is a boiling cauldron somewhere in the room. Maybe for the hearts.
Maybe it is. Do I know how much damage that makes, so I can weigh if I want to use that or not?
Yeah, you can. Which is you can throw water in a cone that's 4 meters in both length and width, and everyone suffers 2d6 damage.
I mean, that's nice. That's nice. And they succeed automatically, right? So that's my first. That's my first action. My first action is rushing in, taking the cauldron and splashing it on the cultists. I'm figuring I might cover 3 of them in a throw, or
Well, you
Should
said
I-
they're lined up in a semicircle. If you're coming up from one side, you could get 3 to 4 of them.
Let's go with 3.
Yeah.
Same damage on all of them, maybe, so I don't have to roll and reroll.
2d6.
Okay, so they all take 8 points of damage.
Okay. So the cultists, I mean, I have like a simple minion thing. In this case, for me, since we wanted to fight and this is a really cool idea, I would say, 8 hit points is fine for them. You can kill 3 of them in one go. There's lots in there. You don't need to have a long, drawn-out fight. That's a really cool image. So you can describe how you kill all them.
So the first 3 on one side of this person that they're chasing, he manages to splash them with this boiling water, and he hits the water just right in their face, and their face just starts, like the skin on their faces just starts melting from the boiling water, basically. And as they're grabbing their faces, what they actually do is that they pull off the skin from their faces. It turns like the end scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark, basically, you know.
Awesome. Love it. Definitely cool.
And then he has his spear up and says, "Where's my captain?"
Great.
And that's a hit. And he deals 2d8 plus 1d6 damage with his long spear.
Wow. That is huge.
And that's 10 hit points.
Great.
So does he skewer one of them? Do they have 8 hit points if the first one's out there? Okay.
Yeah.
So he just takes his long spear and just shoves it straight into the back of one of these cultists. And then there's there's 2 left, basically.
Now, what I am going to mention now is that there is a trap in here somewhere.
Yeah, there is.
So I think any time anyone is moving around, we can ask the Oracle, does the trap trigger? You know?
Okay.
That could be a fun thing to do. And then we can roll up what kind of trap it is, or look at a list and see what makes sense.
All right. So I moved. So I need to roll for if I set the trap. If I spring the trap now.
Yeah. But say you've already done the cool thing. We don't want to trap you before that. And then you sort of step back ready to fight in the next round, and we can roll and ask the Oracle.
That's a yes. I spring the trap just as I move up and skewer the 4th guy.
Okay. So now we can find traps. And page 10, and you can either look at it and see what sounds really cool based on the image you have in your head now, or you can just roll.
No, I'm gonna roll for it.
Okay. D20.
D20. Okay. 4. Collapsing trapdoor. Oh no, he falls into a pit. Or does he has a chance to evade it?
Yeah, you have a chance. I mean, standard traps, you can try and evade it.
With a roll for evade, right? I have 12 in evade, so I have high hopes. Ooh, that's an 11.
Excellent. So what happens?
He springs it. As he just moves up to skewer the 4th cultist, he steps on a trap door, but manages to like roll aside and come up. Battle stance ready.
Very awesome. Okay. During initiative then, I'm giving you 2 cards. You get a 2 and a 9. Could be good. There are 2 cultists left. They are getting a 6 and a 1. So the first cultist is going to go first. And this is a really cool thing that I really adore. And it's so simple and so effective. Turning to page 4, we have the NPC attack table.
Yep.
So these cultists, we're assuming a melee, like, you know, wavy dagger type cultists, or that's how I picture them.
Yeah, me too. They're cultists. I mean,
they're cultists, standard cultists.
they have curved daggers.
It's curved. It doesn't work in the curved scabbard, but, you know, they do it. They have the scabbard anyway.
Yeah.
Roll a d6 then and see what this attacker does.
A 1. It deals a blow. It makes a melee attack.
Yeah. So what does he do with his curved dagger?
He sees me just taking out 4 of his cultist friends and just comes at me with his dagger. Yeah, so he has just 12 in dagger, I assume.
Yeah.
It's a 19. He misses. He's in shock from having lost so many companions all in one go.
And then it is your turn.
With my first action, I'm gonna try and attack the other one, the one that hasn't acted yet. So I'm gonna make a melee attack, a spear attack against him. That's a 6. So that's a hit. And again, 2d8 plus a d6. 12 points of damage. So I think with my spear, just cuts his throat, basically. So blood starts gushing out. He tries to stop it, goes down to his knees, and then just topples over.
Excellent.
And then my second and final action.
Yep.
I'll attack again, and that's a dragon roll.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go with double damage.
Oh, wow.
So he takes 18 points of damage, and yeah, I think I turned the blunt edge of the spear on him, and smacks him right across the face, and just disjointing his jaw, and just makes like some yellowish substance starts flowing out from his ears. He goes cross-eyed and falls down.
Really working out some of your anger issues there, Baston.
Yeah.
But very successful for this encounter.
It's been a lot of sneaking and finding and awareing and spotting. That's not my thing. My thing's fighting.
Clearly your thing is fighting with the half-melted, skewered, bleeding, yellow goo cultists.
Yeah.
We're going to tick this up to a 5 now because the fight takes time. And now, if you could search around the room a little bit, in theory, if you wanted to scavenge and get treasure, I think for our story, we're pushing on.
Yep, because I need to find my captain before he gets sacrificed.
Your captain. And so you walk into the last room. What is that room?
Which is unknown, yeah.
Page 8.
Yep, that's a 12. So it's a lofty bridge, bridging a great chasm. Maybe we've almost like gone in a half circle, almost like half circled back. So we're almost back in the excavated mines. So this is, I've gone upwards and onwards and around. So now this is a lofty, like the bridge of Khazad-dûm.
Yeah.
Scene from Lord of the Rings.
Love it. Now, quick question: what happened to the hostage or the?
Oh yeah. I think that was just a villager. I just gave him directions to go out, or maybe I said, "Well, there's some mace back there. Not sure you want to go there. It takes a lot of time going through it. So maybe just stick around, and I'll get you out." Yeah. So he's just tagging along.
I did that easily. He says, that was easy.
Oh, you did? Oh, well then. Well, off you go then. All right. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Or maybe I should roll. I'll roll if you will know the way out. Yes, he knows the way out through the maze because he went through it, and he was smart enough to leave crumbles behind him or something. So he can just follow them on his way out.
Excellent. So what are you picturing now? You walk out into this cavernous bridge. What are you seeing? This is the final room.
Yeah.
Now we can roll up. If you don't, if you have a cool idea, say it. Otherwise, we can roll up something. Inspiration.
No, I'm going to roll it up. Let's use the tables.
So let's just use the page 3 inspiration table and roll up a thing.
Okay, a thing. Okay. Defense.
What does that tell you?
Nothing. I don't get it.
So, I mean, you could then roll an attribute as well, maybe. This, to me, I'm just using this, or often use this to just, if I'm not sure exactly what I picture, just to give me an idea. When you said defense now, I pictured that at the end of this bridge, there's been like a barricade or something put up. And clearly behind this is where the leader is, something like that.
Yeah, so because I think the lofty bridge leads across a chasm, and the final room is actually on the other side.
That makes sense.
So there's a defense there. So yeah, there's but it's corrupted. It's a corrupted defense. So it's there was a magical sentinel here, but it's been corrupted by the cultists, and it no longer works.
Okay. What are you going to do? You're going to run out onto that bridge?
Yeah, I need to get across the bridge to get to those cultists before they sacrifice my captain.
Right. Okay. So better get moving. What I would say in this case is I'd sort of see how fast I can get across that bridge. And then see if I'm in time. Or if there's any other questions you want to ask about what's in the room, what's happening, we can do that too.
Yeah, like what's happening on the other side. Let's do one of those. I don't see that yet, but just to know, so the GM knows what's happening. What's happening on the other side is... interesting. Some kind of infiltration is going on. Okay. Would the captain like try to infiltrate? Would he like say, if you can't beat him, join him? Like if he left, like, would he be trying to say, well, if you don't sacrifice me, I can join you, and then you'll get more people's hearts to sacrifice more efficiently?
That sounds pretty cool to me.
I mean, it is a deception.
Yeah.
Like it is a bluff check, but he and I mean, I would say that my captain would count maybe as a boss, but this would not be a trained skill for him, so he would maybe have an 8.
Okay.
As a skill value for that. He rolls a demon roll.
Oh.
So he's trying to bluff them that they should let him join, but they're not having it. They're about to, like, shit's about to go down. So I need to sprint across the bridge and get there fast as hell.
So have you seen any of this happening or heard anything on the other side of the bridge?
I'm trying to walk over like a bit more carefully, but then I start hearing like, well, you know, if I can join you, we can get more hearts more quickly. If I could just borrow that dagger over there that you have, everything will be fine. And the other ones just go, enough of this. We must do this now. Cut his heart out right this minute. And then Bastion just rushes across the bridge with no concern of his own safety whatsoever.
Fantastic. And then you burst into this room, you see the scene that unfolds before you, and then you would have your final showdown and either save or not, and survive or not, against your leader. And since we're coming up to about an hour now, do you want to play out that scene, or are you happy sort of leaving that as a bit of a cliffhanger and people can imagine?
No, I can do it a bit quickly. Because it's there's not that many cultists.
You're enjoying yourself, aren't you?
There are several, so let's go 3 or 4. There's only 3 cultists. They're standing around the captain.
Yeah.
So what would that be? 3 plus 2 for me. So let's just draw 6 initiative cards.
Yeah, fantastic. And you are fighting alongside your captain as well. So morale is high. You've just murdered a whole lot of cultists.
I have high hopes. My confidence is boosting in my battle, and I'm gonna spend a willpower point or 3 willpower points to actually name one of these cultists as my prey.
Oh, that's cool. Is there like a boss cultist here, like a leader cultist?
There should be. There would be a boss cultist.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
A particular, I don't know, describe this boss cultist. What makes them scarier?
The other ones have black robes. He has like purple robes.
Thus, scarier.
And they have like white symbols. His purple robe has like red symbols. And he has maybe double curved daggers, and they're a bit longer, fancier.
Excellent. And a little bit of armor, apparently, according to the generic boss stats.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Yeah, I think we could use the boss stats, but disregard the armor for my captain.
Yep.
He wouldn't have a weapon either, so he would be brawling.
Excellent. So, we are drawing for you. Do you want to use keep your... Oh, no, that's only within a single combat you can use.
Yeah,
your
then
skill, right? Okay.
for new combat you can't do that, no.
So you are acting on 4 and 5. Your leader is acting on 10. And the 3 cultist, was it?
Yep.
The boss in the middle is acting as 2, and 3 and 1 for the others. So it is first...
Did they get 1, 2, and 3?
They got 1, 2, and 3.
All right.
The cultist on the right-hand side of the boss cultist gets to act first. We can now roll up on the NPC attack table and see what they do.
Oh, yeah, and that was towards the end, right?
That's number 4. Page 4.
Page 4, okay. So that one will take a defensive stand. Stance. If you have not acted this round, the NPC swaps initiative cards with you and parries or dodges with a boon. If you do not attack or have already attacked, they use their action to attack with a bane.
Okay. So he's swapping out that card with you.
Yeah.
And describe to me how you can see that he's getting in a defensive stance.
I mean, he wasn't expecting this, so he's like hesitating. He's waiting for orders from his boss, perhaps. But will take a defensive stance, and if I attack him, he will try and parry, I think.
Okay. It is then your turn.
Am I close to them? Yes, I am. I'm very close. This is happening just beyond. Okay, so then I will not chunk my spear. I will use my long spear to just go up, and I will actually. I think I'll go for the leader. Actually.
That's the way.
Yeah, I'll go for the leader, because he's the dangerous one.
Yep.
Or she. Maybe it's a she. Yeah, that's a hit actually.
Excellent.
That's a 6 and a 5. So that's 17 points of damage.
Holy cow. With the 4 armor, doing 13 points of damage. What was the boss stat again?
20 hit points. I mean, that's a lot for a cultist leader, but sure, let's go with that.
I mean, you could one-shot him if you like. Then everyone else will probably run away.
That was a heavy hit. Yeah, let's just say I one-shot that guy.
Yeah, excellent. So describe it.
Yeah, so he's just about to bring his double daggers down upon my captain, and I just rush up and go, "No, Captain!" It's like slow motion, me running with my spear in front of me, and he hears me roaring and turns around and basically exposes his chest for me very, very conveniently, and my spear goes through his chest, and I lift him up on the spear in the air and just chucks him away. He hits the cliff wall, and or maybe I chuck him over the edge, so his body just falls into the chasm like. Ah!
Beautiful. Absolutely love it. Great. And then it might be worth asking the Oracle now, maybe with likely, I would say, do the other cultists run away, having just seen you toss their leader off the cliff?
Yeah, that's a 6. A 3 and a 6. So, yeah, a 6. Yeah, they would run away.
Okay. And now, since you've taken time doing a fight, we would tick up the threat die one more time, which takes us to a 6, which means, remember, that there has been a monster tracking you.
Yep.
And now they come in the room. Do you think this is the ice demon who's been following you this whole time?
Let's roll. No, it's not. No, we were friends. We had a deal, man. We had a deal. No, it's not him.
Okay. So I don't think we need to play out this last combat now, but what you might do now is have what I'm picturing is having some monster come in that's been tracking you. The ice demon comes in as well. They sort of get in a big clash, and the ice demon thanks you and shouts for you to escape, and we run out, and maybe it's collapsing. You know, have some dramatic ending, something like that. And as is the story for your first delve into Deepfall Breach, you've successfully rescued the leader. You killed a lot of cultists, which is a good day. And yeah, that's solo roleplay.
Okay.
What do you think?
Cool. Very interesting to go with to like use and reuse these Oracle. I mean, some of it was what I would have imagined it, a bunch of tables, rolling things, but using the Oracle as a stand-in GM was a bit unexpected. So that was a nice addition because it solves one of the problems that I couldn't really wrap my head around when it comes to solo role playing. Like, but how would you, like, sometimes a GM would have to make a decision. Yeah. How do you do that when you're the player and the GM? Like, for me, that wouldn't be a problem because I always go with a narrative. So I will punish myself equally as much as I will reward myself.
Yeah.
But for this, like this is even better because this helps create story. And cool with the same with the NPC attacks that you can roll.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite features actually.
Yeah,
I think that's really nice because it helps you. Like anything that helps you picture what is going on and tell a cool story is good. And I find that immediately you say, okay, well he's going into a defensive stance, and then immediately you have to think, well, what's he doing? And you can picture what the enemy is doing.
And
cool.
the act, like the tables for like action, what's happening or what is someone doing. But actually also the like the threat mechanic, I could really see that working outside of solo play as well, like in a regular RPG session. I could really see that working really well.
Good fun. Well, thank you for participating today, and thank you for being schooled on solo roleplay.
Thank
you.
I have been schooled.
You have been schooled. You know a little bit about what it is to be a solo role player. Andreas, thank you so much for being on the show today. I really look forward to doing more with you in the future. And this is actually the first time that I'm announcing this on my show, but I'm working on a solo mode inspired by Alone in Deepfall Breach for your Windhame setting for Dragonbane, where we're going to take this concept and we're going to put it into an overland travel system where we're building up a bit of a backstory of the world that people can then go and play in your 3 now Windhame books, or at least it will be 3 when the new one comes out. If you want to find out more about that, where can people find information on Windhame?
Late pledges are actually still open for Windhame Falling, so that will be the best because we always do quite a decent discount on books when you buy straight from us, and we don't have a web page where you can buy stuff, but every time we have a Kickstarter, we give a huge discount compared to MSRPs, the price in stores. So if you go there, you can back. If you don't have any Windhame books before, I would recommend the Late to the Party tiers. There's 2 of them, all in Late to the Party and just Late to the Party. So you'll get if you back all in Late to the Party, that is the highest tier though. But then you will get 4 books of around or above 100 pages each, hardcover with like a cloth-ish, like the One Ring and Vasen.
It is.
That's
what it's like. One Ring. Beautiful,
that's
beautiful
both paper quality and cover quality. We have asked the printers to use the same as Vasen and the One Ring. Beautiful. So you'll get really beautiful books, 4 of them. You will get, let's see now, it will end up being 17, I think, maps.
Wow.
Region maps, Windhame maps, city maps, 4 battle maps, a few maps with farms and taverns, because that's something you always need, when you're traveling the wilderness, or something happens in a tavern and all of a sudden it becomes important what this tavern looked like, and you don't know, so you just pull up one of those. So and you get 2 custom dice sets, the blue one, which was for the original Kickstarter, and then you will get an upcoming Dwarven Runic dice set.
Beautiful. Go check that out and see what all the fuss is about with Windhame. You can also head over and listen to Sweden Rolls, where you play in the original Windhame campaign. Do you play the campaign or just in the setting?
Yeah, we actually do play the campaign. Yeah, normally we don't like to play like written adventures. I like to write these scenarios myself.
But since you wrote it anyway.
Yeah, but it's also because I'm lazy, you know, because whenever I play a written adventure, I always miss important stuff. And they end up being important and ruining the story. So I just like I since I'm such a low prep GM, I like to go with the flow and go with what the players want to do. So it's much easier for me to just have a very low prep thing that I've written myself. But in this case, I actually wrote it myself, and I've GM'd it several times. So I do know what information is important to keep in mind.
Yep.
Having said that, I still forget some important stuff along the way. So there are some NPCs that could have gotten bigger parts of the story, and they could have been more impactful, but they aren't because I'm a forgetful man.
Yeah. So it is. That is how it goes. Check out Sweden Rolls for all of their excellent content over there. And finally, thank you for being the composer, or for being a composer, and being part of the soundtrack to all of my Dragonbane sessions that I play solo. I have your music playing on the background. You can find that music.
Yeah,
is there anywhere you particularly like
music.
people to find your music? Or just wherever you listen to music? I just search for Dragonbane playlist, and it's the first one that comes up, or at least is included in those playlists when they come up. Look out for the artwork of the Dragonbane box set cover, which is the artwork for your album on Spotify, I believe.
Yep.
And that is the music that you have been listening to throughout this episode. There are not enough fantastic composers out there making music that we can play our games to and help with the immersion of these fantastic worlds that we love playing in. Thank you again for being here, Andreas. I hope we'll be getting together. I hope we get together on the show again in the future.
For sure.
Even as you hear me, and even as you see the eastern wind eager to escape, to be free, whether eerie or epic, your venture will be. An excess of treasure is there at the end. Ever dragons and demons will devour you all. The doom of the world is yours to decide. My narrative now is nearing its end. The north wind is next, and also our last, to measure your honor, your nameless adventurer. Never fear danger when the night it draws nigh. Now dragons and demons will devour you all. The doom of the world is yours to decide. Now dragons and demons